Today I want to show you how to build a works cited entry for a website, and we're going to go step by step through this particular website that I've taken from the sample website that's on your assignment sheet for the research paper. So if we go to cnn.com, this URL, this full URL here, it takes you to this page, and we're going to follow the steps that it says on the handout. So step 1 says enter the author's last name, a comma, the first name, then a period at the end. So here, if I look under the title of the page, usually there'll be a byline, which is the name of the person who wrote it. In this case, it's CNN Library, and we don't want to call that an author. So we're not going to include that information as the author. I'll show you an article that does have an author, so you can see how clearly the clear difference between having an author and not having an author. So this is the title of an article published in another location, and it's by Arthur Delaney. So what you would do is you'd put Delaney, comma, space, Arthur, and then a period, and that would be step 1. But since our article does not have an author, we're just going to go to step 2, and that's actually where we're going to alphabetize the entry on the works cited page. So it says enter the title of the page in quotation marks. So the page is not the same thing as the entire website. The page is what you're looking at and where you're getting your information from. This is the article. And you're getting maybe some statistics or some quotes from this particular article. So we need to find the name of the page first. If we don't have the author, we go to the page. And so you sort of see how it's starting with something small, the author, going to the title of the page, going to the title of the website eventually. But this is step 2. Since we don't have an author, we're going to start with the title of the page, and we're going to put immigration statistics, fast facts in quotation marks. And that'll be our first step in the entry. As you see up here, there's an example. Okay? Now I put a colon in between because this is an example of a subtitle. Immigration statistics, colon, fast facts. And we put a period there and then an end quotation. Now we're going to file that under I on our works cited page because you have to alphabetize all your entries. Now step 3 is to enter the title of the entire site, which is CNN. So we're going to put CNN in italics, as you see from what it says on step 3. The entire site name in italics. And then if there is someone who's sponsoring that site, i.e. paying for it, you want to put in the sponsor. If CNN was paying for itself, you wouldn't need to put the sponsor here. You could just skip that step. The way to tell is to go to the About Us information or to look and see at the bottom if it says anything about who is this sponsor, who is paying for it. So you'll have to kind of dig for that information if you don't know it off the top of your head. Okay? So somewhere in this information it tells you here Turner or Time Warner is the same company. So you want to put that in as the sponsor. So I'm going to put in Turner here just because I don't want you to be confused. So Turner, if that's what you found, you're going to put Turner in there, and then a comma. Okay? You can put in Turner Broadcasting. I see it's got a fuller title than that, but don't put Inc. Don't put INC or anything like that. So that just goes in regular type. No quotation marks, no italics, nothing for the sponsor. Okay? Now we put a comma, and then we put the date, the latest date it was updated. Now the last time I checked, it was 2016, so we're going to update that date for the copyright here, 2019. And that would be, we just did the publisher, what I call the sponsor, as step 4. Step 5 is the copyright date, or you could use date last updated if you don't have a copyright date at the bottom. And then you enter the full URL where this article appears. So you're not just going to put it cnn.com, you're going to put the rest of the URL for this particular article, which in this case is this lengthier, I think I'll update that too, this lengthier URL. Okay, comes out the same. Oh wait, that's the date it was published. So we have Immigration Statistics Fast Facts as the title of the page. We have the title of the site in italics, full site. We have the publisher, otherwise known as the sponsoring organization, in regular type. We put commas between this information here. We put a period here. So look at the difference between commas and periods, where they go. And then we put a comma after the copyright date. We put the full URL in, and then we put a period at the end. We put a period at the end of all of our entries. So don't forget that's the last step in every entry. So that gets us to step 6, where we put in the URL and a period. Okay? So you can do this with all your web pages. You can have more than one web page. You just want to be aware of where the information usually appears on the page. Normally we have somewhere up in the top here, like with the CNN article, we have the name of the site usually at the top. We have the title of the page in bold print here, sort of in the middle of the top of the page. And then we have Arthur Delaney. We have the byline usually underneath the title of the page. And then we have some pictures and information, but that's not, that's just part of the page. So follow these 6 steps for your websites. And if you find your media source at TED Talks or any of these other YouTube or any of these other sites that you have to look for credible media sources. But if you find it on the web, you want to use the 6 steps for a website to do your media source. And then you can just tell me, that's my media source, not my website. So hopefully this helps you build an entry for your web pages. I have a new link, not new, it's in our class on where to go to find the different steps for all of your sources. So go to our module in week 8 and you'll find this information on, when you click on these links, it'll take you to exactly where to go to find the information on how to complete your Works Cited page with your sources. Okay, so good luck.